Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, because Bologna has done the unthinkable. They've remembered how to win a trophy. Yes, on May 14th, 2025, Bologna FC rolled back the years, slapped AC Milan across the face, and screamed, "We are relevant again." After 51 years of collecting participation medals, Bologna finally said, "You know what? Let's actually win something." And AC Milan? They said, "Sure, take it. We're too busy being 8th in the league and spiritually exhausted." 1. The final. Bologna's long-awaited glow-up. Bologna defeated AC Milan 1-0 at the Stadio Olimpico, thanks to Ndoye's 53rd-minute goal, which came after Theo Hernandez tackled Riccardo Orsolini like he was trying to take his lunch money. "The ball fell kindly," Ndoye said. "Don't mind if I do." And AC Milan's defense stood still like statues auditioning for a museum exhibition. And credit where it's due, AC Milan actually tried to equalize, if light jogging and misplaced passes counts as trying. Their second-half attack was so uninspired, even the stadium pigeons stopped watching. By the 80th minute, Milan's midfield was just a group chat with no admin, and Bologna's defenders were sending do not disturb signals with every block. If you're wondering whether Milan had a plan B, the answer is yes. It was pray for a miracle, and hope nobody notices we've completely run out of ideas. Skorupski. Bologna's brick wall in goal made a double save so outrageous, he might have violated Milan's human rights. Meanwhile, Milan's attack was so toothless, even a vegan piranha looked more dangerous. Bologna fans waited 51 years for this, which is basically 2 generations, 3 recessions, and 1 global pandemic. This wasn't just a goal, it was an exorcism. Ndoye didn't score, he laid 51 years of pain to rest. AC Milan's defenders after the goal, still buffering. Someone check Theo Hernandez Google Maps, he might have tackled the wrong guy in the wrong decade. 2. Vincenzo Italiano. Redemption arc unlocked. Coach Vincenzo Italiano finally won a major trophy after losing 3 finals with Fiorentina. Basically, he speed ran heartbreak so many times, he unlocked plot armor. His tactical adjustments from their 3-1 Serie A loss to Milan days earlier, chef's kiss. He learned, adapted, and told Milan, "Surprise, you played yourselves." Let's be honest, if losing 3 finals with Fiorentina was a university degree in pain, this win was Italiano's PhD in poetic justice. The man went from bald fraud jokes on Twitter to tactical wizards memes overnight. Somewhere in Florence, a fan is staring into the abyss whispering, "We let him go. For this." And you just know Italiano celebrated like a man who's been to hell and back, probably downed 3 espressos, screamed final menti, and gave the trophy a speech like it was a long-lost lover. Vincenzo Italiano is the guy who failed his driving test 3 times and then won Formula 1. Fiorentina fans are watching this like, oh, now he figures it out. Conciso brought war plans from the league game. Italiano brought receipts and revenge. If tactical adjustments were Pokemon, Italiano just evolved into Mourinho. 3 finals lost. Italian Jesus turned water into tactical wine. The trophy celebration probably lasted longer than his Fiorentina tenure. 3. AC Milan's meltdown. Crisis in crimson. And now AC Milan, whose fans came hoping for glory but left questioning their life choices. No creativity, no urgency, just vibes and vague memories of their last Coppa Italia win in 2003. And let's not forget Sergio Conceição. The man looked like he aged 10 years in 10 minutes. He spent more time glaring at the 4th official than at his own midfield, which to be fair was invisible. The post-match presser, a masterclass in vague frustration. He blamed individual errors, which is football code for "don't look at me, I just work here." One fan on X said it best, Conceição coached that game like it was a dare. At this rate, Milan's next tactical change might be hiring a therapist instead of a new manager. Sergio Conceição looked like he was coaching via Bluetooth with a weak connection. AC Milan's game plan? Hope Rafael Leao remembers how to play football mid-match. Post-match, fans didn't chant songs, they held a TED Talk on why the club should be sold. The loudest chant of the night was, "Cardinali, sell the club." It was less a protest and more a group therapy session. Even the Milan subreddit needed emotional support animals after that performance. Reinders had a performance so invisible, we might need heat-seeking goggles to find him. Leao was out there doing cardio, not football. 4. Bologna fans. From despair to street parades. Meanwhile, Bologna fans turned Rome into a rave. After half a century of trophy fasting, they feasted like kings. There were tears, there were songs, there was even Gianni Morandi hugging players like a proud nana. Some fans were so emotional, they started hugging strangers, fountains, and probably a few traffic signs. One elderly supporter was seen waving a 1974 scarf like it was the Holy Grail, yelling, "I told my grandson we weren't cursed." Bologna's celebration wasn't just a party, it was a release of 5 decades worth of emotional baggage. Even the local pigeons were flying in formation. You could have sold bottled Bologna tears on eBay as vintage joy. The city hasn't been this alive since the last pasta festival accidentally ran out of tortellini. 30,000 fans traveled just to scream, "We actually won something." Lucio Dalla's ghost probably whispered the assist for Ndoye's goal. The Curva Andrea Costa's tifo said, "Ora come allora," which translates to, "Yes, we really waited half a century for this." Skorupski could run for mayor of Bologna now. He wouldn't need a campaign. Cesar Cremonini sang so loud, the Coppa Italia trophy started dancing. This wasn't just a win, it was a city-wide therapy breakthrough. Bologna's celebration playlist, 90% nostalgia, 10% disbelief. 5. The historic drought. From dust to glory. Let's talk numbers. Bologna last won this thing in 1974. In football years, that's basically the Stone Age. Since then, relegations, Serie B pit stops, and enough heartbreak to make a telenovela jealous. For most of those 51 years, Bologna's relationship with the Coppa Italia was like that one friend who RSVP'd to every party but never showed up. Their annual exits became so routine, fans started marking them on calendars like bank holidays. Historians weren't even sure if Bologna still knew the trophy existed. In fact, the last time they touched silverware, disco was still a thing, and phones had rotary dials. This win wasn't just historic, it was proof that miracles do happen. Eventually, if you wait half a century and sacrifice enough unlucky match days to the football gods. From Roberto Baggio cameos to third-round exits against teams nobody remembers, Bologna has seen it all. Their 1999 semi-final run was the equivalent of getting to the altar and being left there. The 2000s were just Control plus C, Control plus V versions of disappointment. Some of their Coppa Italia exits were so early, even their fans missed them. 2015, knocked out by L'Aquila. Yes, a club that sounds more like a pasta dish than a football team. Before 2025, their Coppa Italia record looked like a horror movie franchise. Same plot, different deaths. 2025 said, "Enough suffering. Let's finally hit print on the fairy tale." 6. The trophy. The money. The future. So what did Bologna get? A trophy, a Europa League ticket, a Supercoppa slot, and 7.1 million euros. In short, Bologna went from mid-table museum piece to European tour in 90 minutes. Bologna's financial department is probably still high-fiving each other. 7.1 million euros in prize money? That's enough to upgrade their training ground Wi-Fi from dial-up to usable. Between Europa League bonuses and Supercoppa appearance fees, the club's accountant just went from stress-induced hair loss to spontaneous salsa dancing. And somewhere in Manchester, Joshua Zirkzee is realizing he left right before the glow-up, like a guy who broke up with someone before they got rich and hot. Talk about timing. 7.1 million euros for a team that once sold Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United just to pay the Wi-Fi bill. From losing finals to printing boarding passes for the Europa League. They didn't just win a match, they started a financial healing journey. Imagine going from fighting relegation to calling UEFA like, "Where's our invite?" Joey Saputo, the Canadian owner, is now officially Italy's favorite non-Italian. Bologna has gone from cultural museum piece to Renaissance football club. 7. AC Milan fans. Coping mechanisms engaged. Back to Milan, where fans are filing emotional compensation claims. From booing the owner to considering therapy sessions with former coach Stefano Pioli, they're in full meltdown mode. Some fans went full conspiracy mode, blaming everything from the moon phase to the color of the team bus. Reddit threads turned into philosophical debates. What is passion? What is effort? Do we even play football anymore? One poor soul tweeted, "I've seen better chemistry in my high school science lab," while another simply posted a photo of Maldini with the caption, "Come home, Dad." Milan's fan base is now split into three factions. Those who want a full rebuild, those who want a nap, and those already applying for emotional asylum at Bologna FC. Someone yelled, "We want Maldini back," like it was a missing persons case. One fan said, "Reiners had a historic stinker." Translation, he played like a ghost with allergies. Conceição's post-match energy was like a man who realized his Uber rating dropped to 2 stars. Even their subreddit turned into a fan fiction of pain. The most action Milan showed was in the group chat. If Milan's season was a TV show, this episode would be titled, "How to Ruin Everything in 90 Minutes." Gab and Jules said it best. Milan's failure was expected. Bologna's win was the gift. Marco Messina was on the pitch yelling like he'd just seen Italy win the World Cup. Football Italia's Capello said, "Milan did nothing. We've got the receipts, sir." Neutrals are treating Bologna like the Cinderella of Serie A. Even The Athletic wrote, "Dreams come true. As long as you're not managed by Conceição." For once a trophy didn't go to Juve, Inter, Roma, or Napoli. The monopoly has been disrupted. UEFA's probably checking to make sure Bologna's name isn't a typo. 8. Neutrals rejoice. The football gods finally smile. And then the neutrals, who love nothing more than an underdog story. Bologna beat a giant. Milan collapsed like a flan in the sun. Everybody else popped popcorn and watched. Neutrals watched this like it was a feel-good Netflix special. Small club overcomes decades of failure, beats the rich kid, and celebrates with tears, confetti, and street karaoke. Even fans of rival clubs were temporarily nice, which is how you know the universe was briefly in balance. Somewhere, a Juventus supporter cracked a smile before remembering they're under investigation. Again, this was football therapy for everyone tired of watching the same 5 clubs treat trophies like family heirlooms. For once, David beat Goliath, and then did a little TikTok dance over his body. Closing thoughts. When football gets it right. So there you have it. Bologna are Coppa Italia champions, Milan are in crisis, and the football gods actually did something wholesome for once. Was it a fluke? A fairy tale? A tactical masterpiece? You tell us in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more football chaos. And remember, if Bologna can break a 51-year curse, maybe Arsenal can win the Champions League before 2076. Maybe.